The phone screamed while my hands were buried in soap and grease. I let it ring. Plates clattered. Steam fogged the window. The dishwasher beside me hummed like a machine that never slept. Neither did my thoughts. "If you want to join Thanksgiving," my daughter-in-law shouted when I finally answered, her voice sharp enough to cut porcelain. "Come wash the dishes!" A pause. Laughter on her end. Someone else breathing. My son, probably. Silent. Always silent. I looked at my hands. Cracked knuckles. Old scars. The same hands that once built systems men twice my age couldn't understand. "Enjoy," I said. I hung up before she could reload. The screen went black, then lit up again. Unknown number. I wiped my hand slowly, like I was stalling an execution. A photo came through. A terrace. Glass railings. Snow-dusted mountains burning white under a Swiss sun. A villa I hadn't stood in for 20 years. The caption was simple. "You're being watched. Come have coffee." I stared at the image until the dishwasher beeped. My chest didn't tighten. It went cold. Because men like me don't fall by accident. We are pushed. And I had just felt the hands. 3 months earlier, the new boss had smiled while ending my life. 34. Perfect teeth. Words like adaptor and obsolete sliding out of him as if they were facts, not knives. "Company property," he said when I asked for my tools. My tools. The proprietary modules. The encryption keys I designed before he finished high school. He kept them. Security escorted me out. No severance. No goodbye. Just the quiet understanding that someone had rewritten my story without asking. At home, the silence was worse. My son stopped calling. My daughter-in-law filled the gaps with suggestions. Sell the apartment. Move somewhere cheaper. Be grateful for help. Her eyes never blinked when she talked money. Never asked how I was sleeping. Never asked why I'd been fired. I took the dishwashing job because it didn't ask questions. Water doesn't judge. One night after closing, I went to the diner because it was still open, and I wasn't ready to face my own walls. That's where the old man sat. Alone, coffee untouched. He watched me like he already knew my name. "You built the adaptive lattice," he said softly. I froze. No one had said those words in years. He smiled. Not kind. Accurate. "I'm Victor," he said. "And the boy who fired you is my nephew." Something inside me aligned. Like gears clicking back into place. Victor didn't offer revenge. He offered context. His nephew hadn't created anything. He'd inherited power and learned to speak fast. He'd stolen my work and sold it as innovation. "And your family," Victor added, stirring his coffee, "has been encouraged to help." That word, encouraged. I didn't react. I asked questions. Over weeks, I watched quietly. Phone records, shared cloud access I'd never authorized. My daughter-in-law forwarding documents. Financial statements rerouted through shell accounts. She was skimming. Not stealing outright. Managing decline. My decline. I smiled at dinners. Paid for groceries. Let her talk. I let my son stay quiet. At night, I rebuilt what they thought they'd taken. Memory is a weapon when you forge the blade. Victor provided access. Nothing illegal. Just doors opened at the right time. I traced the misuse of my tools. Every shortcut, every flaw. I documented everything. Then I waited. Because panic reveals nothing. Time reveals everything. The confirmation came on a Tuesday. A licensing dispute filed in Zurich. My name was still buried in the original architecture. They'd missed one clause. I hadn't. I printed the documents, slid them across the diner table to Victor. He nodded. "Family dinner is Thursday," he said. Thanksgiving. That night, my daughter-in-law called. "If you want to join, come wash the dishes." I almost laughed. Instead, I sent her the photo. The villa. The mountains. No explanation. My phone rang. Once. Then again. By midnight, 71 times. Messages shifted from mockery to confusion to fear. My son finally spoke. "What did you do?" he whispered. "I adapted," I said. Thanksgiving happened without me. But the fallout didn't wait. Regulators froze accounts. The company's innovation was exposed as stolen architecture. Victor's nephew collapsed in public. Not screaming. Just shrinking. I sent one final message to my daughter-in-law. A spreadsheet. Every transfer. Every lie. Every moment she thought I was too old to notice. No insults. No threats. Just truth. She replied with apologies. with excuses, with promises. I didn't open them. Because power isn't shouting, power is silence that answers nothing. I returned to the villa in Switzerland alone, not as a victory, as a reset. I sold nothing. I chased no one. My son didn't come. That was his choice. Some betrayals don't need forgiveness. They need distance. On the terrace, I watched the snow fall and felt nothing pull at me anymore. Not rage, not regret, just clarity. I was never obsolete. I was inconvenient. And the people who mistook my silence for weakness learned too late. I was always watching,